G'day everybody, and welcome aboard the Bukowski. This is our cruiser. And this is Between the Stars. It's a new game that I've just picked up. It's in early access. And I've been having a bit of a fiddle with it and playing with it in another save game, and it is absolutely awesome. Absolutely loving it. So what I thought I might do is I've basically just set up this ship, or just purchased this ship, and I've set up a captain for the ship, and her name is Castasia Cortez, and we are going to head out on some adventures. It's not necessarily a sandbox game, this one. It does have a storyline, and the storyline is what we're going to be following. So what I might do is just grab a quick screenshot of this. Let's see, as you can see, it has a nice screenshotty thing to it. Where are we? Far radius. It should be okay. Increase the contrast just a tad. And drop the exposure a little bit. There we go. Needed to get that for our thumbnail, so alright, so let's get out of this. And we have started off in this sector here, which is we're currently in Ratke, and we've just been given permission to dock, so that's what we're going to do. So the idea here is that we go up to our little cone here, and when it's green we make sure that we've stopped completely, like that, and as soon as we've stopped then we basically auto dock. So still getting used to the docking system, still getting used to the controls and the flying system, but there we go. But at this point I sort of know enough about it to get through and to start going. Alright, so we've got the commercial zone, District 8, an industrial ghetto where the workers of the power plants of the area used to reside. Over time has become the favourite area for any activity that goes against the law of the Republic. The commercial zone, which is an area where we can, on some stations, it depends on the sector that you're in, but in some stations you can sell some of the equipment that you've gathered and stuff that you've salvaged. Hangar and an arcade. So we'll start off here in the commercial zone. Alright, so these are available crew members that you can hire for your ship. Down here is where you can repair your ship. Currently these are our crew members, and they all have level ups. This is Castasia Cortez, which is our captain, our main character. And we have 2 specialists, 2 engineers and 2 scientists, and then we have 2 vacancies on the ship. At the moment we have 1,000 credits, which I don't think will be enough to hire another couple of people. But what we'll do for starters is we'll start by allocating the upgrade points for these guys here. So the specialists, we have projectile upgrades, conventional weapons, energy weapons upgrades energy weapons, and salvaging increases the likelihood of better rewards. Conventional weapons, yes, I will upgrade that, and then with the other specialist I will go for salvaging and upgrade that. She actually has 2 points, so I'll upgrade 2 points there. Engineer Sophie Sartre, and the engineers have crafting, which upgrades device crafting. System upgrades the ship's global system, so increases the ship's movement and increase in the ship's hull. and ship scrapping devices, so reduces scrapping time for materials and stuff, which we'll get into later, obviously, scrapping and stuff. So for her, I'm going to run with system upgrades. For Kenji, who has 1 point, I think I will also go for, I might go for the scrapping, I think. And scientists, we've got medicine increases the crew's healing capacity, investigation increases the crew's investigation capacity, and increases the effectiveness of shields. So we're going to go shields and investigation. And for Stephanie, we are going to go medicine. So what I'll try and do is each of these characters, provided each of these crew members, provided none of them die, I will be going for upgrading those specific traits in each one of them. Later on, when we can afford it, we will have reserves in here, so if anybody does die, we can transfer them over, etc. Let's see, departments. Okay, so at the moment we have pretty well nothing happening there. We've got the engineering workshop, the scrapping workshop, the sick bay here for your crew do get injured during battles and stuff, so, and during some of the text events, so you do need to put them in here. And the research lab for doing research. Systems on our ship at the moment, these are all different different mounts on the ship that we can add weapons to, and we do pick up weapons as we go. At the moment we've got a light plasma cannon Mark 1, a cannon of the Republic Mark 1, and a light plasma cannon Mark 1. So we've got the 2 plasma cannons and 1 cannon of the Republic, which is sort of normal ammunition. I tend to like those better than the plasmas, but we'll see how we go. Now you can swap these around, so if we wanted to swap those 2 over, we could put them in there. You can take these off and put them in your reserves. You can create in your inventory there, you will have any weapons that you do pick up during fights, etc. What else have we got? Stash. Here's the stash. I'm not playing on permadeath, although there is a permadeath option and a standard option to play in. When you're not playing in permadeath and you do die, you do respawn again. However, you lose everything that's in your inventory and stuff like that, and the only stuff that you keep is in your stash. And back to the station. Blueprints for weapons, weapon creation and stuff like that is something that does come up in some sectors where you can buy blueprints. So, alright, so that's a little bit of a rundown of that. At the moment, as you can see the engineer level 1 attack capacity, and he has skills in crafting and device crafting. Specialist, skills in conventional weapons, and this specialist upgrades in conventional, no, in salvaging. So we could probably we've got enough to hire these, so we might recruit these people, only because all their stats will definitely help when it comes to ship, and they've automatically been put in here. Do they have upgrade points? Where are they? They were yes, there. So he has an upgrade she has an upgrade point there, Stephanie Veen. Didn't we do her, or did she just have 2 points straight up? Can't remember. Alright, so let's go back to the station. Before we leave this station, we might have a look at some of this other stuff here. The hangar is later on. At the moment we have the Infinite Astral, which is the Bukowski. Class C cruiser, normally used to transport medium loads in hazardous areas. 9 engines are able to provide a good acceleration despite the mass of the ship and its cargo. This is an old model, but today is widely used. Some pirates take advantage of its size to modify the ship, adding more weaponry. So you can see all the weapon mounts on there. You can purchase other ships as you go through the storyline, and these will show up in here, and you can select the ship that you want and swap over to that ship. So there's not much to do in the hangar there. We'll go into the arcade, and that'll give us a little bit of a taste of the text-based section of the game. So the arcade flashes dozens of bright lights while the noise of numerous machines deafen you. You feel a pleasant feeling tingling in your stomach, thinking about the things that are about to happen. Go ahead. You enter the room with your crew and quickly feel the adrenaline rising. Among your crew there was no prediction for video game genres except for one, the combat simulation room. That technology came from the military training simulators and could be accessed whenever you wanted, but it was never the same. Multiple companies obtained licenses and made modifications, making the experience infinitely interesting. It wasn't focused on boring instructions, it was more dynamic, without losing any realism. Facing a 4-foot double-headed creature with your crew was the most realistic and safe combat training you could think of. So we can enter the simulation room. You enter a room filled with different devices, and their activation brings a sensation of plummeting into a void, until you reach a small room where you see your crew. In the room you can adjust certain calibrations and select levels. The game is simple. Overcome all the matches to unlock more levels. If you overcome the last level, you win. If you die, you lose. In the simulation room, nothing that happens is real. As lucid as it may seem, all players find themselves in exactly the same condition as they entered. Understood, so let's start. Here's our crew members down the side here. Okay, you access the level selection. Player, Castasia Cortex. Available level number 1, Mousetrap. You approach a strange abandoned ship in search of riches, but it was an ambush. Kill the bandits and get out alive. So let's start combat. Okay, so it's kind of a dice rolling combat. You can see down here that we have a Republic pistol as we go through and defeat enemies and stuff. Then we gather, sniper rifles, bulletproof vests and all that type of stuff. You can play those in here after you've rolled the dice, but before you commit. So here's our pirate crew that we're fighting here. Pirate leader has this many health points. Each one attack takes away 1 health point from any of these, but it is random. You can't select and concentrate on one particular person. So we couldn't concentrate on taking out the pirate leader. It just randomly takes things. Oh, you'll see that in a sec anyway. The blue die is ours. The red die is the pirates. So we will roll the dice, and here you can see that it's shields, and it's added a shield to 2 random characters of 2 random crew members of ours. So the enemy got nothing, so we resolve that, and that's done. And now we have extra points up here as well. Alright, which are the extra points? So after we roll the die like that, then this is where we can play these if we wanted to. Before we hit resolve. So what we've got here is we've got another 2 shields, and the pirates got an attack, and they've got 9 attack points, so they're going to attack and hit 9 times. So we'll resolve that. And there we go. Alright. Alright, so we've both got attack points. They've got 9 attack points, we've got 8 attack points. And just as an example, we play that. There we go. So we've taken some of their attack away, and we've also taken out their automatic turret, or 2 automatic turrets, and we've taken some damage on their crew. So now they have 5 attack, we have 8. So let's resolve. So that one was a good one for us. All that's left is the pirate leader. And our crew are looking okay. We've got 2 here that's slightly injured. So there we go, 8 and 1. So basically this will end and we will win. Alright, pirate leader is dead. So that's it. So we have victory on that. So the battle scenario disappears, sending you to the lobby where a new level is unlocked. The dead players are resurrected and they recover supplies. So now we have a level 2 available, and I'm not overly sure whether this plays any real part in the game or whether it's some form of sort of tutorial training. I'm not sure. However, I would think that perhaps they would be getting a little bit of experience for this. At least you would think that they would. So what we might do is we will leave the simulation room for now, because I don't want to just sit in there and do that this entire episode. And we will head down to District 8 and see what's happening there. District 8 has never enjoyed a good reputation. Everyone who knew it, knew that it wasn't an especially safe place to go by. It had been founded with the creation of the City 3157A. The objective had been to maximise the effectiveness of workers of the engine rooms, housing them as close as possible to the large power stations that provided power to the entire station. Pollution filled the air of that area, despite the large extractors. Little by little, the people who could afford it were abandoning it over the years, becoming one of the poorest and most troubled areas of the station. So we've got an option here: being on the edge of the law doesn't make it dangerous. So the neighbourhood seems deserted. The lights of the nearby planets illuminate the street, which seems which seems to be wet despite never having known the rain. On the floor, puddles of some kind of fluid that seem to radiate a soft glow can be seen. The street is quiet, most homes having been abandoned or lay in ruins. The few people you meet have a frail and sickly appearance. The only thing to break the sepulchral silence are the continuous noise of extractors and coughs coming from the gloom. A young man turns the corner in a rush, colliding with you. Man, Captain, I need your help. She's in a very grave state. So we have 2 options: calm down, what's happened? Is there something wrong with somebody? So we'll go calm down, what's happened? Man, it's Ashley, something's wrong. You have to help her. Something has happened to her. The man seems really worried. You look at him for a second, and he doesn't look any better than the other men you've seen in this area. His skin, as white as snow, contrasts with his eyelids, swollen and deep red. You know those symptoms perfectly. That man was under effects of cetyl resin. Cetyl resin, or cetyl, is it's a drug basically in this universe. So there's no time to lose, or I'm sorry, we have things to do. Okay, there's no time to lose. The man leads you to his apartment, where you quickly find Ashley. The young woman is on the floor, convulsing frantically. Hold on, Ash, I've found help. Crew member Texeria lunges at her while she rummages in her bag. Meanwhile, the rest try to immobilize her as much as possible. That was serious. An overdose of cetyl resin could be easy to counteract if caught soon, but it was already in a very advanced state. Okay, so we can let her be because it's too late and just let her die, or Texera can do as much as she can, and this gives us a medicine roll. We've got 2 die to roll, and we've got to get over 7. Okay, so it's for both die, and we'll give that a roll. And I think this is an infinity. Your crew's medicine level allows you to succeed. He quickly starts working on a solution. From his bag he takes out small test tubes and starts mixing them. As soon as he finishes, he takes out a small pistol in which he inserts the vial and inoculates her with it. Barely a minute later she stops convulsing and becomes unconscious. Texera. Captain, we need to take her to the ship. It's impossible for me to deal with what we have. The solution we have used will delay the symptoms, but it isn't a definitive solution. We need the ship's equipment. All right, she's coming with us. You load the girl to take her to the ship. When you leave, the man sticks close to Ashley, not wanting to leave her side. He has every intention of following you back to the ship. As soon as you realise, you cut him off. With a worried face, he addresses you. Captain, I must go. She's all I have. So we've gained Ashley Evans, and I do believe she can probably become one of our crew members. So we've got three options. You're not coming. We're taking her where you can't hurt her anymore, and we won't leave her with you. We'll take care of her until she's better. So I think we'll go, we won't leave her with you. We'll take care of her until she's better. Okay. So we can go back to the ship now, and as soon as we click on this red one, now we're docked at 13, dock 13, then the ship will undock. So there we go. Alright. So you can see some things around here, suspicious activity. This one's closer, so we might head over to that one. I have found in this game that you tend to get pulled out of your warp quite often, so I might just duck into our inventory here, and we'll go back into our crew members. And I thought we would have, we probably need to. No, research, sick bay, scrapping workshop, systems, passengers, there we go. Young girl rescued on District A on the verge of death due to a CETAR resin overdose. Whoop, don't know what that was. Alright, so what we'll do is I'll hit the U key just to make sure there's nothing to do. No. Alright, and engines up. Press the G key. And we'll go into a small warp. So up the top corner there, take advantage of the time until the wall council. Oh, here we go, we've got an event. You walk through the ship's corridors near the training room when you hear the hustle and bustle of the crew doing combat simulations. You approach the bridge, making sure you have a good view to observe the training. Nakamura. Tanaka, lift your elbows. You must keep your guard up. Nakamura. Satre, move your waist. You have to follow blows with it. So we'll just say good job. The crewmen notice your presence. Nakamura. Captain, you've arrived right on time. Why don't you come down and join us? Alright. You go down the stairs and stand next to the crew member Nakamura, who's still leading the training. We will take advantage of the fact that we have the captain to give you a practical demonstration of hand-to-hand combat techniques. Don't worry, the captain won't be harmed. She still has to pay us this month's salary. You hear the laughter of the crew while Nakamura hands you a pair of training gloves. So our option is, I don't know if I can say the same about you, Nakamura, and it's aptitude, and we need to roll a 6+, and we've got 1 dice. So keep your fingers crossed. Yes, 8. So we were successful on that. Your aptitude level allows you to succeed. Nakamura starts throwing wild blows at your guard. You immediately notice that he is using considerably more strength than should be applied when sparring. You avoid a series of punches by leaning sideways at just the right moment, and then back off to catch the distance. Come on, Captain, is that all you got? I guess you're weaker than you look. The man throws himself at you with all of his power, as he aims straight at your head. With a sideways step you avoid the blow and hit his unprotected jaw with a cross. First lesson, don't get distracted. Nakamura gets up enraged from the hook you just gave him and instantly stretches both arms to charge against you. Immediately you take advantage of the lack of protection to connect a series of direct blows in his nose and make him kneel with a last blow to the kidney. Second lesson, don't lose your cool. Nakamura stands up and raises his fists. Now he no longer comments on it. The man charges you again, and you cross a few blows until you grab him by the wrist and flip him over you, applying a hold. Without letting go, you turn to twist his arm and sit on him while you press hard. The man, defeated, claps the ground in a sign of surrender. You speak. Third lesson. Out there you will not have the luxury to surrender. Always keep that in mind and do not do anything foolish. End of class. Okay. The crew are impressed and form groups again to continue practicing. You give a couple of pats on the back to Nakamura and you go back to the command bridge. So it says here that we've gained a new attribute, which is familiar. So the crew gain more experience. So let's get back to work. Alright, so you have those random events pop up all the time. You also quite often get pulled out of these little warps that you do when you're heading off to, say, suspicious activity or anything like that. So okay, so here we are. You arrive at the corresponding coordinates and find a suspicious ship. The best thing to do would be to send them a transmission to identify them. Mai opens the communication and directs the call to your terminal. A woman who remains silent appears on the screen, waiting for you to start the conversation. So we've got, we're from the Republic, identify yourself. Or, hello, what are you doing here? I think we might identify ourselves as being from the Republic and ask her to identify herself. Woman on the screen. Oh, greetings, Captain. We're the Zodiac ship's crew. We're passing through. We transport a shipment of food and mechanical parts. You keep questioning. Okay, so where are you headed? Woman on the screen. To the port of Antiros, Captain. We're actually pretty late. We must keep going our way as soon as possible. So we've got one moment, and would you mind if I take a look at the cargo? So I'm guessing that it's our job as a captain of the Republic to do things like check cargo and stuff, but I want to see what one moment says. Clearly, the woman is lying. With the fall of the Republic's headquarters, the adjacent sectors had been devastated. Woman, if you don't have any more questions, Captain, we're leaving. So you've gained another attribute called observant. That's pretty good. Would you mind if I take a look at the cargo? Aptitude 6+. So we need to roll a 6+ to be successful here, and we rolled the infinity. Your aptitude level allows you to succeed. The nervous woman accepts your ship's coupling. After passing the gate, the crew welcomes you and guides you to the ship's hold. You spend some time checking some of the bunkers without finding anything. Normally, you'd leave it there. But clearly they were hiding something. It would have been enough for the captain's company to clarify everything, but instead 5 crew members were standing by as firm as statues while checking the hold. Search more carefully, aptitude 5+. So we need to roll more than 5. Ah, bugger. So that's a 4, so we failed that one. Your aptitude level doesn't allow you to succeed. You put your arm in one of the chests full of bearings and you immediately notice the trick. Much earlier than expected, you touch a tablet that doesn't correspond to the depth of the container. It's a false bottom. With barely time to glance around, you see that your crew is being fired upon by your hosts. Losses, wounded 2. Take cover. And it looks like we're in a fight. So they're smugglers. So we've got 2 mercenaries, 2 smugglers. Alright, Robert Taylor and Hitoshi Tanaka have both been injured. Okay, that's a little bit of a weird one. I wonder whether this actually works here. Yes, it does. Alright, so we've used our 2 yellow points and now we will resolve. We've got some shields. Okay, and they went for Robert Taylor. Oh, bloody shields again. Alright, that's exactly what we want, isn't it? Bloody shields. Alright. Thankfully they didn't shoot Robert Taylor again. Shields again. Okay. Luckily Robert Taylor had shields then, but I think he's not in a good way. Oh, fucking shields again, that'd be right. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I guess shields are okay if they're shooting people that have shields. Alright, we finally got an attack. Excellent. Okay, so we've got 4 attack, they have 1 attack. Okay, thank goodness for that. We've at least taken one of them out now. Okay. Shields again. What are we going to do? Shoot at them. Okay. Yes, please. There we go. And here we go. Shields again. Alright. Sorry, I'm finding this very amusing. Alright, you're done, dude. That was the last one. Oh, that was a lot of shields we rolled then. In a second, you position yourself taking cover and the skirmish begins. The shots illuminate the room, impacting some of the chests that drop their contents. It was clear that they didn't care much about what was in them. Just a minute later, you can only hear some pieces rolling on the floor. You've finished with the crew. Let's see what they were hiding. You empty the chests and check their bottoms. The crew breaks the tablets and your suspicions are confirmed. As you had imagined, in more than one chest, the real load was hidden behind a false covered bottom, also covered up by the mechanical pieces to confuse whoever opened the containers. Nearly a dozen containers were carrying vials of cetar, resin, a highly toxic substance for humans, and highly prized on the black market. So we've gained their shipment, confiscate the cargo, and go back to the ship. Alright. Got nothing to do on the ship. So that was our first encounter. I'd like to see in this, I'd like to see the ability to be able to scan some of this junk, and I haven't got that far in, but perhaps there are areas where we can do that, because there is a lot of junk scattered around here, so yeah, it'll be good. But what we'll do is I'll leave that here for this episode, and we will kick off from this position in the next episode. So I know I explained a lot in there on what was going on and stuff like that, but eventually we won't. We'll just continue on and continue through the storyline. At the moment, all we need to be doing is killing time and taking advantage of the time until the War Council. So we'll just keep doing that, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit like, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you next episode. Thanks for watching.